All right, so let's be real about this right up front here. A 3D Mario collection is just too good to be true, right? Well, maybe, but it sounds like it actually might be happening. Today, I just want to try to work through all these leaks and rumors and try to figure out exactly what we might be getting, when we might be getting it, and what this could mean for some other things that we are waiting on from Nintendo. What's up, guys? Welcome back or welcome in for the first time. Either way, happy to have you here. Before we jump into this really fast, I just wanted to quickly mention we do have some t-shirts now available. I've had a few people ask about this, so my good friend SJ actually put together a couple of designs, some retro-inspired stuff that looks really good. I'll go ahead and leave a link to that below. So if you're interested in that, make sure you go down there and check that out. So when I first heard about all this Mario stuff that's supposedly happening this year, I just rolled my eyes. When I first heard about it, it just sounded ridiculous. Just too good to be true. I mean, Nintendo just doesn't normally do this. I mean, yeah, we get some remasters here and there, or some re-releases from the Wii U, but to just take all these games that are rumored right now, remaster them all and just say, here you go, polished up for you, enjoy, see ya. No, they just don't do that. And if they do, they normally don't do it in a collection, and I really don't think they would want to put it out that close together. But once I sat down and started reading some of this stuff and watching some of the videos, I mean, yeah, it looks like this might be true. In fact, I'd probably go ahead and say, yeah, this is probably true. Multiple very reliable sources, which I will link below, all seem to agree that we are getting not only a remaster of Mario Galaxy 1, possibly 2, but also Sunshine from the GameCube, and the one I am by far the most excited about, Super Mario 64. When I start thinking about Super Mario 64 remastered, the only thing I see in my head is that Unreal Engine footage that you can find on YouTube. I'll link that below too, but it looks absolutely amazing. Someone remade Mario 64 with Unreal Engine and it looks insane. It is beautiful. If you haven't seen it, like I said, I'll link it below. You definitely need to go check this out. But if that's something like what we end up getting with a Super Mario 64, whoo, that is gonna be absolutely amazing. That game has the best level design in a Mario game, well, up until Odyssey, but it's the best. It is such a great Mario game. And now is a good time to put something like that out because a lot of younger players probably haven't really got to experience that game. And honestly, now maybe wouldn't really want to go back and try to do it on a 64 because the controls were kind of weird. Going back and playing it now, it is definitely not exactly how you remember it, that's for sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm just super excited to see what they do with that if this is actually happening. Up until Odyssey, Super Mario 64 was my favorite Mario game by a mile. So I am far more excited for that than I am the other ones, but that's not to say I'm not excited for the other ones. I definitely am, but it is really going to be amazing to see what they do with Super Mario 64 because it's definitely gonna need the biggest overhaul. I mean, that's exciting. We're not even done here. These same rumors also say that a new Paper Mario is also coming this year. And let's just go ahead and throw the rest of it on the pile here. Let's not forget about the rumors we heard earlier this year and late last year about Super Mario 3D World coming to the Switch as well. That is a whole lot of Mario to come to the Switch in 2020, and it's already April. Okay, let's see if we can figure out how and when this might all take place. Now, it looks like all this Mario stuff was supposed to be announced at E3 this year, which has been canceled for obvious reasons, but it is still possible that we might see some type of digital event around the time that E3 would have been. It looks like IGN is putting something together, but I think we can all agree that no matter what happens, we're still gonna see that same Nintendo Direct we probably would have got at E3 regardless of if it's going on or not. So if we are to believe the information that we have been given, which I, at this point, kind of am believing it, then yeah, I mean, around that time, it makes sense. I mean, that is definitely a very good time to announce something as big as this could possibly end up being. So let's say we have the announcement time pinned down. We kind of know when that's gonna happen, but now for the tricky part. Exactly how are they gonna release all these games over the course of 5 to 6 months. I mean, with all the games we just discussed, that's like a Mario game every single month for the rest of the year, pretty much. I just don't know if that works. If these games are going to be released individually, they're definitely gonna need to be announced way sooner than June. So it's possible we could end up with some type of Mario Direct even as soon as next month, maybe in May. That would at least give them a little bit more time just to space them out a touch more. That way they're not right on top of each other as far as the releases go. That's still not a lot of time though. So let's sidestep for a second here and talk about what that might look like, a Mario Direct. With the 35th anniversary going on, it would definitely make sense to do something like that this year. Honestly, with all the things going on, they would have a lot of stuff to talk about. I mean, think about this. Without the games, we still have the Mario movie, the theme park possibly opening in Japan this year. Also, they are planning to open a version of that park in Orlando and LA. Then we also have the Levi's thing, and of course, the Legos thing, which I'm actually kind of excited about, and you can guarantee you will see those Lego sets being built on this channel. But if you take all that and then add in the 5 or 6 games we're talking about, that is a huge Nintendo Direct, honestly. That is a ton of stuff to fit into one Direct. Would they talk about that other stuff in a Direct? I don't know, maybe. It's the 35th anniversary, so, you know, it's kind of a different situation than just a normal Direct. Now, obviously the other option here, which is the one I'm hoping for, and I'm sure all of you guys are too, is that we just get some type of 35th anniversary 3D Mario collection. I mean, that does seem to make the most sense, but you've gotta remember, we're dealing with Nintendo here. It's just really hard for me to imagine them going through all the trouble to remaster these games and then just handing them over for 60 bucks. I mean, history already tells us Nintendo has absolutely no problem remastering a game and giving it right back to us for $60, which is fine. I mean, they move Wii U games basically with nothing else done to them over and charge $60 for those. It's really hard for me to see Nintendo doing a 180 on this and just handing us over 4 or 5 games for 60 bucks that they've spent all this time remastering. I don't know. I mean, who knows? There's a lot of different things going on inside at Nintendo. This could be the new thing going forward, or maybe it is just special for the 35th anniversary that they are gonna do something like this. It's just such a weird situation and weird rumor. It's hard to believe that Nintendo's gonna give these to us for that price, but it's also hard to believe that they're just gonna take all these games and release them over 6 or 5 months, however long it's gonna be. I mean, why do I believe this rumor again? I don't know. I guess we'll have to just wait and see on that. But there are a few other things that I wanted to talk about that I think this directly affects if it is true. And it's actually a few things I was really hoping to see sooner rather than later from Nintendo. And one of them I think now may just not happen at all. Now the first one, which is obviously still happening, is Breath of the Wild 2. But with all this Mario, is Breath of the Wild 2 going to be the 2020 holiday game like I've been saying? I just don't know. Maybe not now. Or maybe it never was. Now, it's not like Nintendo has never put out a Zelda game and a Mario game in the same year, because they just did that in 2017 with Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. So it definitely could still happen. It could be the 2020 game. But with all these reports of a new Switch being developed that was rumored to come out this year, and now people are saying might come out next year, are they saving Breath of the Wild 2 to release with that console possibly? Maybe in March, April? I mean, that would line up with what Nintendo has done with the Switch from the beginning. Breath of the Wild came out at launch with the Switch. Link's Awakening was released the same day as the Switch Lite, so if they did hold Breath of the Wild 2 for the Switch Pro or new Switch or whatever we're calling it now, that would line up with what they've done since the beginning. Anyway, the last thing I wanted to bring up here that I'm just a little bit concerned about. So if they're remastering Super Mario 64, does that mean we may not get other 64 games for the Switch Online service? Another thing to kind of go along with that, I think that puts the nail in the coffin for the classic 64 system that was rumored a few years ago. With a game like this being remastered and put onto the Switch, I just feel like if the 64 Classic was something that was going to be done, Mario 64 is clearly one of the biggest games, if not the biggest game, that is gonna sell that classic system. It just seems really weird to me to remaster it and make it better, but still turn around and put it on something like that. Because I feel like the people looking for like a classic 64 system are probably looking for 3 games. One of them, Mario 64. The other, GoldenEye, and that's definitely not gonna be on that console if it happens, just because of all the crazy licensing stuff. And the other one's Ocarina of Time. But I just really think if this rumor is true, that any hopes of that classic system is probably out the window now. Now, 64 games coming to the Switch Online system is still something I can see happening. The only thing is, I mean, they're remastering pretty much the biggest one. While they could drop the original Mario 64 for Switch Online and the rest of the 64 games that we probably all want, it just seems weird to me that if they're remastering one of the biggest games that was on that system, what's to say they're not gonna hold the other big games that were on that system for remasters as well? I mean, who knows? It is Nintendo we're talking about, and nothing they do really makes any sense. But those are a few concerns that I had, and I definitely want to hear what you guys think about those in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the classic system and definitely the Switch Online stuff as well. I mean, who knows? I could be wrong about all those things. I probably am. But either way, it's gonna be interesting to see how all this stuff plays out through the rest of the year. So with all that said, let me know in the comments what you think Nintendo is actually going to be delivering us this year as far as Mario goes for the 35th anniversary. Are we getting these games? Are we getting a collection? Are we getting them separate? Let me know below. All right, guys, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check all the links in the description. Please leave a like on this video, make sure you are subscribed, and we will see you in the next one.